Hi. So there's a way not to become your parents, and there are certain mechanisms that get set in motion, and it takes a while for a mechanism that gets set in motion to become a habit. So one thing I do is break people free of that timeline. Now, you do not want to become your parent. I mean, the most objective way of viewing it is that there are similarities and there are differences in you, in your genesis, in your existence, in your genetic, in your emotional makeup. So how can we embrace the differences and the similarities without endlessly pushing against them? A lot of people I notice will say, I'm nothing like my parent. And the ones that say that are the most like the parent, completely. So how do you break free of that? Every time you go into one of the mechanisms that pulls you onto that timeline, you do something different. You can do this different thing with language, with your body, with your mind, with your occupation. Now, we need to be careful because there's this thing called reverse capitulation, where you're in the circus because your father was a banker and everything you do is to not be a banker. And that's not exactly what we're talking about. What we're talking about here is you could be a banker because you have similar interests or predispositions, and yet you are not your father. Do you see what I'm saying? So the way to do this is to not go down the path of just expressing the trauma that's in your body. So there's a book from the 50s, The Magic of Thinking Big, and in one chapter he talks about never speak about your illnesses. The people that you meet that are limited are always, every time you meet them, oh, my back hurts, oh, I have this, I have tuberculosis, I have the black lung, I have this or that, I have identity, being identified with this set of symptoms that isn't really you. So instead, this piece of you that is eternally just you, how do you correlate with that? How do you express that? What does that say? That is oblivious and disinterested in your physical symptoms. That's what I'm saying. So in the past, I've noticed X and Y symptom. That's how I break free of that in one simple solution. In the past, I've noticed I have a cough, or in the past, I coughed when I ate this or that. And you need to find these correlations so that you know, if you want to go down exactly the path of what the parental unit did, and that particular timeline and your lower expression or whatever, you think exactly the same way, you eat exactly the same way, you do exactly the same things. That leads you into that narrow box where you're caught in negativity because you have some genetic trauma in your cells. Break free.